right? Thank you. So we have started seeing the how to do the transformations. So I'm going to add a few more so that we'll be good with the transformation. I'm going to add one more field here. So date I'm adding, add date. So dates. So second one, right after strings, we are going to see the dates. We may need to. It will come from source. It's going to be a different format or target. It's they're expect to format as a different. And strings and dates are very important when you are transferring data from when you are migrating data from one source to other system. So they always have different formats in dates, like across different tables. So what we have to do, right, they'll ask to make all the dates in the same format. That means for this situation, so we have this file and we have a date like this. So date slash month slash 2022. So in other table it's going to be a so like a hyphens instead of slash, we are going to have a hyphen. So but it's not a uniform, or it's not a across all the tables or different formats. So that is not going to be looks good, right? So they'll ask us to make it as a date in a uniform when you are loading into the target system. So we have to follow the format for all the tables, same format. So 90% they'll ask you like a same format. In some cases there may be different. In few tables it's going to be a different format of the date. So date format and strings operations are very important when you are practicing. Make sure you are doing the format. So now I have added date. So where we have to change the metadata. We have to go to the metadata, and first we have to add that date field. So this is our candidate file. You can see start date is coming, and you can see header. And here the date is a string. So from file, right, file doesn't know it's a date or it is a string or whatever. So we want to when we are doing transformation, we have to convert that to string to date. So right now file has a date. We know based on the value we are seeing it is a date, but the type of data is, it is a string in file. So when we are loading into the table, we have to convert into the date. So this is updated, and we have to see metadata. So automatically say when you have that kind metadata, so automatically it is reflected whatever added. So but its field is not going to be added. So you want to add that, you can add in the metadata. So the view, it is able to refresh from the file automatically, but metadata field is not added. So I'm going to add that. So start date. So I want to give this one. Now we are good with the metadata. So when you go and refresh here, so now you can refresh, or you can add the same here also. Okay, so now start date we have in a source file, and we want to load that as a date. So what we have to do, we have to format, like we have to format first. So format, what we are expecting is, so this is the format we have currently in our source, and while loading into the target, we have to format this date into, this is the format example. So we want to format this. This is the format I want to transform this one, and I want to make sure the type of data is date. Okay, so it said it was string in source, and we are going to load it as a date. So we have a existing talent date methods, so we have used only current date or get date only. So we are going to see how to format using the talent date functions. So you can, so we have a transformations always, right? If it is going to be like a, it's going to be reusable, or it's going to be two steps, or we are going to perform. So we are going to format first, and we are going to again converting into data type into date. So two steps we have. So instead of doing right side directly, we can do it right side also, but instead of doing that, we can have to we can have a intermediate transformation, right? So you can use that to convert the date into first format, and then format converted, then you can move it to date type conversion. So two steps we have to perform. So first thing is formation, and second thing is conversion. So I'm adding that field to everywhere wherever we have that mapping. So I'm going to copy, so you can copy this. So it is saying warning because our query does not have that field, and we have edit schema. So to make it sync, what we have to do, if you click on guest query, automatically whatever field, whatever columns you added in edit schema, so that will reflect into your select query window also. So just click on guest query, so that you will lose, you can avoid that warning message. Okay, otherwise it will not able to pull from select the date, because date is not there in your select statement. Okay, so now we are here, and we are try to format. So just first we'll do right side. So I'm going to drag this one again. First step is formation. So from where to where transform, so slashes are there. Instead of slash, I want to use the hyphen. So what functions we have to check? We have to check in the talent date you can go talent date and you can see the format date. So here you can see, right, there is a format date. So format date time into a string. So it will format the date in string, but already we have a string. So this is not going to this is going to perform on date type data to convert into a format of string. So to convert the format, we are going to pass the two parameters. One is a pattern, so what pattern you are expecting, and other one is date. So now we are already having a string, so we can just have to perform the first like conversion. So conversion, what is the, always you are going to have talent date dot parse. Parse means conversion, so you can see the conversion. So parse means pass the text and bringing into of the produce a date using the given pattern. So you can see that text what they have given in a help. So I'm going to call this method. You can just double click on this. So it will give the parse date dot talent date dot parse date, and it will ask you the parameters. So what parameter you have to pass. So this is the date format I want to convert into the. So I'm going to pass this as a second parameter. This is a string date. So string date we are trying to convert as a date type. What format we are expecting? dd slash slash. So this is a, now it is become a date. I'm going to select as a date. So date only one type we have, and here we can select our. So this is our default we have. So now I'm going to put log row. I'm activating this log row to see how the it is returning the date. So we have applied that conversion. So we have to see, right, the conversion is applied or not. Where is that string to integer? You can go to the code and you can verify which mapping has that. So zip. Okay. Okay. So we have click on sync, right? So it was changed to string teacher, and this one as a long. So sync columns, it is reflected from source to deconvert type. That's where it is converted to string, all the fields. So that's where it is saying the target is integer and you are passing string. Still we have an issue. So this one extra column is coming. So we have to drop and create again. We have a key. Staging, we don't want any key. So we can remove this key. We are going to see the checking for date. Start date. So we see, right, start date is converted format. So it is a date format now. So now you can see that it is converted. So we are good with this conversion. So we have to we can able to load into the table. So I'm going to drop this again and recreate with the start date. And I want to add one more column. So meanwhile we are doing drop, right? So I want to add uh, so state field. Okay, we can use the state field itself. Okay. So I'm going to rerun this job with the drop and create. Okay, so we can go and check in the table. So you can see that start date. Start date is created. So the batch started date is we want to populate in the table. So string it is coming from source and we are trying to convert as a date type. So this is already date type in table. So we have used that talent date dot pass date, that way is converting to uh, date type. Okay, so that's where we selected date type and we have used the format, which format we want to load the data. So the format which is followed in your pattern. So you can select the pattern. Okay, so now I want to perform one more string operation. So string like a format, right? We have already done this as a hyphen. So I want a hyphen, right? Instead of hyphen, I want to keep this string. So later they ask to convert this as a string, convert this as a dot, from hyphen to dot. So what we have to do, we have to replace. For example, they have already hyphen, they want to make it as a dot in the phone number. So here we are seeing, right, so there is a phone number which is having a hyphen for each and every 3 digits. So I want to make that as a dot. So wherever you see that dot, I want to convert that as a hyphen, I want to convert that as a dot. So what I'm going to do, I have this logic. So already I have done this one earlier. So when they ask to format this one. Later they come up and they are asking to replace with a string. So this is already converting hyphen. So you can take this one as a another variable. So you can take this as another variable, and you can say here phone number. Okay, and you can just use a method which is going to help you to replace whatever you want. So I want to replace the hyphen with dots. So here you can see the replace methods. So which method is appropriate, you can select that method and you can apply. So there is a string replace. So I want to replace wherever you see hyphen into dot. So I'm going to select the replace. If you want to only one place, then you can use the you can use the replace alone. But if you are using replace all, means it will automatically replace all the places wherever you see the hyphen. So I'm trying to use the dot instead of hyphen in the phone number. Okay. So, and I want to map this to contact number, phone number. So replace function, which is going to, so, and we have selected insert or update. And what is the key we used? Yeah, candidate key we used. So we are good. Let's try to write. And so it is going to update. And always write, if you have log row between, just remove. If you are going for a like a live, so don't keep the log row as in your flow. Just deactivate till you are testing your job flow and all. After that you can remove this, and then you can push the code to like a production or wherever environment. So log row is going to consume that, it is going to wait to catch all the information, and it will try to print on your console. But in a like a studio we want to see, that is fine. But in servers, when you after deploying it, we don't want to see log. And if you have a 10 records or 20 records, that is fine. But you have a millions of records, then it is not, it is going to take time, and it will be costly operation for you. So now you can see, right? So dot is replaced like this. Whatever they ask, we can able to. If they ask again, don't do the hyphen. Just you can make sure you can unmap this, and you can just map the other one. So like that you can able to play the transformations if used in a intermediate and all. Okay, here we are using, not using directly on right side, we are just using in the uh, intermediate layer. So if they ask only hyphen, then you can select this one. If they ask dot, so it depends. So like just I'm giving the example. They'll not ask this many times. They'll give you the proper way, which format they're expecting to convert in the target system. So now I'm reverted this one. So now we want to see. So state is already, it is in a state code. It's not a abbreviation of complete state information. So now why earlier we have done that exercise to vice versa. So if Andhra Pradesh is there, we are populating the complete state name. So state code, state name. So how we are going to do that now? So we can have a table. So this is a case. So if it is a less limited fields which are going to be the like a limited entries we are going to have, so we no need to keep the table. If you have a multiple states and multiple state codes, already business has that kind of table or a model. So to store the state and state code, then you can use that table as you are join in your ETL process, and you can get the state like a state name or a state code. So we already have a state code. So I want to get the state name. So I'm going to use, earlier we have seen how we can do in the static. So we can use the tfixpo input, and you can pass that entries, a state code and state name and all. But now I am going to create a table which is going to have the state details of every state and related code. So this is a, Dates is a table, and I'm going to have a two things. So I'm going to have a ID as a ID is a auto increment. So it will be auto incremented every entry, and state code. State code. Okay, so state code always it's going to be 2 or 3 letters. So I'm going to use a three, max three they can enter. If more than that, it is going to be so we can ask them. So state name is I'm going to give as a 50, safe side. So this length is also very we have to follow how much length they have in a source. Based on that only we have to create a table, because this is a matter like if you give more length, it is going to occupy the space of table. And if you have a thousands of table when you are migrating data, so it's going to your product is going to have some issues with performance. Or so size is going to be matter. So make sure the size appropriate like what we have in a source. And exactly they're asking any extra transformation on it, we are appending to the existing data, then you have to give them more length. Otherwise you can use the same length what they have in a source side. So I'm going to apply this. So I want to enter data to this table. So we have AP capital, all AP is there. I'll change it to TN. Okay, so I have entered, and I'm not passing ID because it's a auto increment. So whenever you have entries on other fields, automatically it will generate the sequence for that entries. So now you can see, right, the state codes are created. So this I want to. So this table, what we have to do, whenever new table is created, or new table we are going to use in our ETL process, you have to retrieve from your studio. So what is the new table, or what table you are going to use in your process. So I'm going to select this table alone. We don't have any other. So we can choose that stage table, and we want candidates also. So now you can see, right, so whatever we have created is going to get in this. And I want to and I want to create one more table. This is batch ID, and okay, so This is another table, and this one I'm not giving any. Okay, batches. I'm going to enter data for this also. So batch ID is not auto increment. So I'm copying the batch ID from our data. So what batch we have created. Like this, we have a few batches currently going on, and we want to populate what they have registered or something. So just kind of some training institute model we are trying to create here. Is the issue. Okay, so I given as an integer, but my batch ID is a varchar. So I'm going to alter my table. This is not auto increment, so we don't need a integer type, and we have a combination of characters and new numbers. So okay, this should allow. Now I'm going to run this, so it is allowed. So now we are good with the batch table, and okay, so we are good with this batches table also. We have to retrieve again that table also from our talent metadata. Okay, so I want to join these two tables into our our target system, and I want to populate the extra fields which are like what technology this batch these candidates are getting trained, and I want to populate that state definition. Instead of state code, I want to get the state name. Okay, so I'm going to select this table. It is a lookup, so we have to select a input. and states also we have to select as a input. So two tables we are going to join with our source table. So staging we are loaded. So we can do it as staging itself, or we can do it as staging to target. So always staging, I told you right, it's going to have what we have in a source. It's going to be a raw data. So we have to apply these joins or a transformation, anything stays to target. Okay, so now I'm going to add this join with source data, staging candidates with a states. So now you can see the new table is added here. So now what is the match here? So we want to match with uh, state with state code, and I want to populate the, instead of state here, I want to populate the state name. So what is the match here? State. So you have to, state is nothing but a state code in the source file. So naming is going to be a little different in source and your target model, but you have to match the what exactly is going to, what exactly is going to match with your lookup table. And unique match, I want to make inner join. So these joins already we have discussed, and even SQL also. So and we are going to add one more table also. So we can add one more table. So we told right, n number of lookups we can add, and you can join with your source table. So now I'm going to, so this one right, so I want to match with batch id. So batch id is a, here it is a training id, trn id is a training id, and in table it is a batch id. So I'm joining with training id with the batch id, and I'm going to match again, it is also a inner join because we want to get all this, or you can leave it as a left join also fine, because all matches are all matches, we can leave it in a left join. So inner join means it will check every record, and it matches with the batch id with the train id, then training id will get it. Otherwise if not matches, then whatever is there in, we are going to get it. So batch id is right, so I'm going to keep this left join. Okay, first we'll see inner join, and we'll add a few more records into unique. Okay. So what is the extra fields I'm adding here? Technology. So I'm going to add a technology in table. So technology is my extra column in table, from getting from the lookup table, which is a batches lookup table has a technology. So batch ID is going to reflect in a source file, but related technology information we are maintaining in a batch table. So we are matching with the training ID with the batch ID, and trying to populate the what technology they are getting trained, or they are apted for the technology learning thing. So we are trying to populate that. And state, so we want to populate the state name. So just we are trying to match from lookup table state name. Okay, so now we are going to drop this again and recreate. So it's already drop and create. So without batches and related IDs or technologies are not there, then you will not have a source which are which people are asking for what training and all. Okay. So length. So length we have to define. So what is the length here? Yeah, 2 we have. We have to give 20. So if we go and see your candidate table, we have get that extra field.
You can see, right? These are all Talend data integration, and you can see that what we have changed state name. So you can see, right? Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. This is how we are going to, and we have a typo here. So I am going to change it. Okay, so now we in a candidate table, we got that technology. I'm going to rerun. I'm going to add one more. So whenever candidate is going to come, I'm going to add that what batch they're looking for and what is the, even you can maintain a date for it. So you can get the batch start date information from batches table. So I'm going to add one more entry here to make sure our join is working. Okay, so one more entry added, and one more I'm going to add, uh, which is not there in batch table. Okay, so this we don't have. So now I'm going to rerun. So how many records we have? 8 records, and we are going to rerun this job. How many records are going to be inserted? Anyone? Why we are getting null pointer? Anything wrong? So first we have to see data. If I made any mistake in a file, can retrieve this and we can see data looks good or not. So, thing looks good, right? Okay, let me these two records are not issue. So something. Okay. Didn't change anything. Phone number, right? Uh, okay. Fun. Saying phone number maybe issue. Three fields. Removing these things to understand what is the issue. Why 7 rows? Yeah, 7 rows is a correct. So because these two, this one we don't have any like any matching like things. So total 8 rows we have. So one we don't have a match. So this batch we don't have in a batch table. So it is not able to match with that. So you want to get this one also. We are going to use the left join so that we will not miss that entry. So later we can add to that batch. So before doing that, right? So if it is really is going to be uh, like like we have to make sure that batch is stable, that batch is really exist, and the candidate registered for that batch. So that entry you have to make it. Generally if you are not making right now but still you want to have that source table data, what we have that eighth entry AWS related training, right? You just make it as a left join. What will happen, whatever is matched between these batches table and source table, and other than that what we have the left side, so it is going to be left, right? Source is going to be left join. So left join means whatever we have in the left table, it is going to all records, we are going to get it. So now 7 records we are seeing except that AWS training related uh, record. So we want to get that, then we are changing into left join. Now you see we don't have that AWS training. So Salesforce related training entry we get it. Srinam entry is able to, but Krishna entry is not happened because we are using a inner join between the batch table and source table. So I have changed that to left join. I'm going to rerun this process. So now you are going to get all the records from the source. So you can see all entries. So 8 rows. See that AWS also. But this batch I want to add in a batch table also. We want to keep that batch table also up to date. So we have to keep that batch table, and we can have this. Same way we'll change for like state. So I want to change state. For state, I'm going to change to UP. So now what will happen? This entry will not come because you are using a states table with uh, source table inner join. So what will happen? It will not match with that batch like a state code with what we have in a state code lookup. So we are not going to have that. Again, Krishna record is not going to fetch from the lookup because it's not there that UP related. We don't have entry in state table. So now again see, right? So that Krishna entry is deleted. So we don't have state code. So you want to get that, what we have to do? You have to change to left join. Then you will get all the records. So lookups, right? If it is a critical, like if it's going to be always it's going to be a, sometimes source all the data you want, you are going to use a left join. If it is not that critical data you are pulling from the lookup table, then you can use the left join. So there is no there is no there is no dependency or something. It is just additional information we are trying to add from lookup tables. So that is fine, we can use it. But generally, if the you are joining with the lookup table, you have to check all what is the match model and what is the join model for this table, what is the relationship between these two tables. That information you have to understand before you are establishing that kind of information. What is this again? Date format. So why it is looking for date format? So here you can see that error, right? It is saying some date format conversion is failing, but we didn't change any dates, right? Let's me close this and open again. Sometimes weird errors you are going to see. Please be patient and try to check where exactly the issue. So null pointer is one more like a very headache issue when you are doing the any technology. So you are going to get null pointer. It's a tricky to identify where exactly it is throwing. But so but we can easily how you can understand which is data and what you are joining or what is the transformation you are performing and where that matching is failed or what any transformation. See phone number some issue, so I'm not able to get that where is that exactly. So I just removed it, then it started working. So now again it is saying date format. So what is the date format it is looking for? We have to see where is this. We didn't change anything, but surprisingly, it is throwing error. No, no. Mhm. So we didn't change actually, but it is saying issue with the date. Yes, we have this. Double quotes are missing. Double quotes are missing. We don't have above records also, right? Let's see. We'll give it a encoded string for this date also. So this is a silly mistake, right? Sometimes like a file, they'll also miss to add this double quotes when they're sharing source file. So we have to identify what is the file they have shared and why it is not able to get it. Pass one record. So what else we have changed here? So temporary, I'll remove this record. Maybe field I missed, but I didn't miss anything. Let me remove this extra fields and I'll change here itself. Existing. Okay, so I'm going to run this. I just removed whatever newly added records. Okay, so that is fine. I'll just change this to just add that. Maybe something is missing in this one. I'll just existing records itself. I'll change the batch ID so we can understand left join how it is working. I'm going to change this UP for one record. So Raju record, I'm adding UP. So now we are not going to get him into our target table, but we have joined left join, right? So yeah, we made all left join. So if you make it inner join, that it will not come. Okay. So this is how you are going to do a number of transformations, and you may need to join the different tables and based on existing existing, if they have already any conversion, they have informatica or data stage, and you can find what table what join they are using between tables, and same you are going to do the in talent. Okay, so now I want to conclude the transformations with this today, and I want to check one more condition. So I want to get only AP records. So how you are going to do that? So you can use a right side. So you can check with that state equals to state dot equals to. So you want to filter only AP candidates information. Then you can have that filter. So this is how you are going to do, right? So if you want to copy and you want to get separate the table into the you want to have separate table. So I want to get separate table for UP. So UP entries also I want to get. So how I'm going to get? You can copy this and you can change to TS. We have given TS or TN. So this is a TS. I'm going to see any TN TS records we have. So TS here. Any TS? Okay. So now I want to get the all TS records into separate table or a separate file I want to write. Okay. So I'm going to make it is as a TS. And what else? I think we can copy from here and copy, and you can remove this because source does not have all the fields. So target the first output has all the values. So I'm copying from there and I'm going to auto map. So whatever fields are going to map from this one, and I'm going to copy this transformation for start date, and I'm going to have this one current date. I'm just copying instead of doing again typing. I'm just copying that whatever the values we have, and we want to have contact number. So I'll just add this again back to. I'll remove these comments and I'm going to add this contact number transformation here. Same I'm going to add above. Okay, like this two outputs I created, and second output I want to write onto the file because they want to uh, filter why this record why this record is getting like this. They don't have anything, so I'm just going to have a delimiter output delimiter. So T file output delimiter. Instead of here, I think what we can do, right? Or so I'm going to use AP and Telangana candidates details I want to write onto the table. So to satisfy two states code, so then what we have to check, we can use OR condition and you can apply for same equals to the state equals to the TS. Okay. And the below one, we are trying to just capture the this is a one record which is not like a TS or TS or AP. So I want to get that record alone. So I'm just using, I know data what to filter. So I'm doing that. So otherwise, what we have to do, catch output. So you can try that one. So I'm going to capture that UP record separately and I'll just to filter out that. So they want only, they ask us to create a data candidates list for AP and Telangana. So other records, whatever you see, write onto the file and share with us. Like that is what scenario we are trying to do here. So you can just try to have that bound file. You can have state that UP we don't have, so I'm going to remove that in table also. So only we want, so we don't have that UP. That's where the requirement is. Whatever the state we don't have in states table, we don't want to write onto the table. So we want to separate that record. So I'm just capturing rejected. So okay. So and I want to use a comma, include header and you can use append CSV. These are all options. You have aware of it, and true does not required. It will override. Okay, so I'm going to sync it and I'm going to run this. So what will happen now? So you have used a left join, but you have still you are trying to filter. So you have used a left join. Okay, left join means it will try to get the records, but still you are trying to filter while loading into the actual table, and whatever is a UP record you are trying to capture in the other flow. But join model, we are using a left join. If you make it inner join, you will not get that record. You will not get that record at all into your right side, because you are doing inner join. So there is no UP entry in state table. So it's not going to match with your source and target, source and lookup. So that's where I don't want to use the inner join. I want to capture that UP record separately on other output flow. So now you can go and see it is captured that. Yeah, reject test date record. So you can find that UP record. So UP record, we captured it. This is how you are going to do the transformation. Or they don't want this flow. So just they want to filter from source itself only whatever match records with AP and Telangana, right? So you can do that first transformation itself. Or you want to filter it in the source level, what we can do, you can just I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove the right side, and you can filter in the source itself. So you can filter in the source itself. I'm going to have this. Can source itself, you can filter. And now we are not using a file system. So you can filter it in table itself. So you no need to pull for date where you can, where state in. So we are going to have a number of states, right? So you can use that in statement. In is a operator which is going to check what exists in that table. Okay. So this is going to fetch only states matches with AP and states only. So AP and TS. So the filter you are doing at source level itself. So your source table, so whatever is from file it is coming, all you can see in the staging table. But when you coming to your target flow, you are filtering only state which are going to match with AP and state. So now there is a concept of capturing the UP record and all. So you can if you have this mapping, it's not at all useful, because we are already filtering in source level itself. So this output is nothing we are going to receive. So you can remove this, you can filter that. Okay, so it's a depends. So based on your scenario, so how you want to capture that different scenarios based on the business requirement, you can play with the SQL itself. You can add that kind of condition, or you can use a tmap to get that filters in a source level or a target level. So up to the developer and up to the business requirement, you can play with it. Okay, so now I'm going to filter only source itself. I'm filtering. So stage table, we are going to have a UP record also, but coming to the stage to target, we are trying to get only AP and TS. We are filtering in the source query itself. So now you'll get only the records. What is the syntax issue? It is a syntax issue. So here you can see, right, one more editor. So you can just click on it and you can able to execute the query here. What is the issue? Okay, we'll copy this and we'll try to run in a SQL. So only AP, you don't see any UP record. Okay. So here we have miss in single quote. So this is a string, right? So you have to have single quote. So now you are getting record. So this is fixed. Now you can see enter that single quote here. So this is a expression builder again source query. You want to test, you want to have any kind of queries you want to run, you can just click on that query. You can write whatever query you want to run and you can test it, and you can limit the rows also. This is again preview. So how we are seeing the file metadata preview, right? So you want to see how the data is coming. Same way in SQL also, you can have the template or anything and you can run that query and you can see. And here you can see, right, what is your metadata you have selected and all. And so those things you can expression editor, you can just test your SQL query. If you're still not able to where exactly it is going, just how I did, right, you can go to your SQL editor and you can run that query. You can easily identify where is that issue. So now I'm just running again. So now we are going to have, so how many records here you can see, right, total 5 records. One record has UP, so we are not going to get that UP record. So now see 5 records. So you can just verify what you have in the candidates table. So candidates table, we have 5 rows and you can check the candidate staging. So it's going to have 6 records with UP record also. Can see, right, 6 records are here and say 5 records are in your target. So you have filter rates while you are doing transformation from stage to target. So whatever you want, you can see that, and whatever you don't want, you can handle that in that. So now you can see two outputs I am capturing. One is 5 records and you can see the other one has 6 records. Okay, this is how you are going to apply the transformation, and you can join a number of tables and you can match that model. And if you want to get all matches or you want to get a last match, if last match means you are going to get the last record, it's nothing but a unique a first match itself, then you can use a first match model. So you can join a number of tables, and how we can create a number of outputs based on your filter criteria and all. And in between you want to do any transformations, we have done string and we have related like a different string to or integer to lang or integer to double. So can use the parse methods to convert the data type from one data type to other data type. And date also same, you have a different formats, you want to format into a different, then you can use the parse. So parse methods for conversion. So all transformations you are going to use with this kind of strings and data type conversions, and you will do some kind of ternary operator we use, right, state code we have used a ternary operator. Now I avoided that to code, because why to do much code in a, if you are not familiar, like you are not interested, you are not going to like a coding, then you can go with this static tables, or you can maintain the tables. So these things I can handle within the like a code itself. We don't need a tables actually for this scenario example. In the same case with the in your real time also, there is a 5 entries. You no need to keep that table and all again. You can handle it in using that t fixed flow input and all. You can have that data and you can match with that model, and you can get what fields you are expecting from that fixed flow input. So now batches we matched and batch id is matching, then we are getting the technology. And state we are trying to match, and if the state matches, then we are getting the state name, state code matches. Like these two things, right, you can perform. If it is a less limited data, then you can perform within your Talend itself using the ternary operator, or you can use a t fixed input, or you can maintain a one file. So file also fine, or they already have the tables, then obviously you can simply use the joins and to get the data. So this is how you are going to use your tmap. And with this you are comfortable, like I feel you are comfortable with the joining with the table, different tables, and you are able to transform data and convert the data types and loading into the target table. So on top of this, you can practice a number of things and a number of transformation. You can have your own files and try to do what transformation you think in your mind. Just try to practice so that you'll get hands on this kind of transformations and how to use the options in tmap. So always right, till in this job, any other component which can replace this kind of functionality in Talend? No, because I have multiple lookups and I have to create a multiple outputs. So there is no component which can replace this with. Otherwise, you have to do lot of work to do this kind of functionality. If you are not ready to use a tmap, then you have to perform same kind of like a functionality. Then you have to do lot of work. So tmap is a very flexible and all transformations, all joins, anything you are going to do in a tmap in a real time. Okay, with this I'm going to stop for today. So we'll continue tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll continue tomorrow.